I'm Carrie George, and I want to talk to you today about the importance of using a calling list as you are working through your prospect list so that you keep track of how many people you're calling, who got back to you, what happened, what's your closing ratio, and you want to also make sure that you have a nice big list, and the reason for this is so that you don't become discouraged. So, if you're like most people, what you have done is you have just recorded people's phone numbers either in your phone or possibly into your CRM. If you don't have a customer retention management system that you use online, then you may be using just written lists or writing it into your daytimer. I am a great advocate of actually writing things into the daytimer. I find if I just put things online or just put it into my calendar on my phone, what ends up happening is I forget to check the phone. But the calendar, the daytimer, is something that I carry around with me. And it's big and it's bulky and I don't forget to use it because I have it with me. This is my daytimer. See, it's big. It's big on purpose. I don't tend to forget this behind when I've left because I feel like I've emptied out my pockets or something and all the change is gone if I'm not carrying this. So it's really critical that you have some way of recording appointments and knowing what's going on. But an important component to that is also having a calling list. The calling list should be numbered 1 through 100. There's a psychological reason for making it 1 through 100. You don't want a list that's too short. If it only has 10 names on it, how do you feel about getting those calls done? I'll tell you what you'll do. You'll end up procrastinating because you're thinking, I only have 10 names on that list. What if I don't get a sale from that? Well, you end up putting it off, and as a result, you'll get 0 sales from that. But if you have 100 people on your list to call, what's going to end up happening, it's going to give you a feeling of confidence. You're going to feel excited to actually start your calling because you're working your way through your list. You're going to be able to more actively create a time block period where you are working that list because you're not concerned that you're going to run out of names to call. You're not concerned that you're going to have to go look things up. It's all right there. You write down who you're going to call, their phone number. There should be an area to write some notes, like if you have to send them an email afterwards, and then there should be a place to record what happens. We're going to show you in a slide what this looks like. As you work through your list, what you're going to do when somebody makes a purchase, you're going to use a yellow highlighter pen to actually highlight out the entire line. As you work through the 100, it's going to take a few weeks probably for you to do that. And as you do that, you're going to be able to count how many sales that you actually made from the 100 that you had on the list. This is going to give you an accurate closing ratio. You're actually going to know I had to see 10 customers, 10 potential customers in order to get 1 customer. Does that make sense? If you never work through a list like this, you will not know what your closing ratio is, and therefore you will not know how to increase your income. You will at the end of the month think to yourself, oh my goodness, I have more month than money. I don't know how I'm going to make it. I need $4,500 a month and I only brought in $2,800 a month. What will I do next month to fix that problem? Well, if you know your closing ratio was you sold 1 in every 5 appointments that you had, then you know that you need to double the number of appointments in order to get double the number of sales. You will not know this if you have not had a calling list that you have worked through those details as you met with each prospect and they became customers. You will notice on our sheet that we also have some abbreviations at the end on the right side of the page. And those things are identifying how we name and number the appointment or the interactions with each prospect. Because I have news for you. Most people will not buy from you the first time that they meet you. In fact, it's only occasionally that you will land a sale in the first meeting. It typically takes 7 to 14 touches to get a sale. So that means you've maybe met them somewhere, you got a business card, that was 1 touch. You sent them some information, that was 2 touches. You called them on the phone, that was 3 touches. You had an appointment with them, that was the 4th touch. If your social media was really good, it is perhaps conceivable that they have been touched in multiple ways before you got to that appointment by seeing things online, like your Facebook posts, possible ads that you were running, blogs that you have, or any kind of content that you've been putting out there. Content could increase those touches. But for the purposes of actually keeping track through your calling list, you want to know how many times did you physically touch them. So your abbreviations at the end of that line should have something to do with how you are going to physically interact with them. In our day timer that we use at CIBN, we put things like first meeting, second meeting, phone call for PC for phone call, email that we sent an email as an additional touch. But the goal is to have 6 to 7 of them in a row, and that way we're tracking how that physical interaction went as this person moved through our system. Now, why is this important? Because again, when you've gone through 100 on the list and you go look at your yellow highlighted lines that show you who actually purchased from you, you're going to notice some very interesting things. At the end of that line, you're going to see that those who were touched multiple times, it increased the likelihood of a sale. You are going to rarely find that that person had 1 or 2 check marks there. Most of them are going to have 4, 5, 6, 7 check marks at the end of the line. And that's, my dear, how you're going to increase your profits and overcome your financial woes. So in conclusion, just a quick recap. In order to increase your profits, you are going to want to track what is going on. And the best way of doing that, if you're a sole proprietor and you don't have a great big expensive customer retention management system, is get a great day timer and open up a few pages where you write 1 to 100 down on them and start calculating how many people are you seeing, what is happening when you're seeing them, what's the next step, did you talk to them twice, did you send them an email, did you have a phone call, and all of that is collected in your call list. And that is how you're going to tell what your closing ratio is, and that's going to help you increase your profits. I'm Carrie George, this is CIBN TV, and we are wishing you a great big happy capitalism.